and welcome to Babylon. Look at this, it's just stunning.
Z always manages to pull some sort of string.
Definitely getting some special treatment.
Welcome to Saddam's palace.
I can't dance with this leg.
Molly's dancing with everyone.
If Saddam Hussein could see this now,
He'd be turning in his grave.
Good morning and welcome to Babylon. That sounds like a song. Welcome to Babylon, Iraq. We got up pretty early this morning and we took around a 2-hour drive 50 miles south from the capital of Baghdad. It's actually quite a difficult checkpoint to get through at the moment, as there has been an incident recently, but because we're with our friends from Al Rafadain, who we are on a 10-day tour of this beautiful country with, we flew through. Z just seems to know absolutely every general, every soldier on the checkpoint. Behind me is the famous Ishtar Gate, which enters you into the ancient city.
This was actually the 8th gate to the inner city of Babylon, and it's not the original. Unfortunately, some of the original remains are in the Berlin Museum, but this is pretty much the picture. Anyway, for me, what I looked at when you think of Iraq, this is what I thought of, was like the Babylon Gate, the blue tiles.
The famous blue tiles.
The famous blue tiles, and it really is spectacular.
Look at this, it's just stunning. This was actually rebuilt in 1958. The original dates back almost 2,600 years, and on the side are actually two gods. They're all the way around it. One's like a unicorn.
Now we get to head in through the 8th gate to the city of Babylon. This is so cool. When you come in, you can actually see the map plan of the city of Babylon, and the civilization actually dates back over 4,000 years, which is crazy. On the map, I think it's number 7. You can see the supposed hanging gardens of
one of the ancient
Babylon.
wonders of the world, which supposedly never existed.
Who knows?
So quite a lot of the ancient city of Babylon was actually damaged during the Saddam era. He built on top of the ruins, so a lot of what you're looking at was actually built by him, and then underneath, about 9 meters down, once excavation took place, they found the actual remains of the ancient city of Babylon. It is fascinating.
You can actually see the difference in bricks there. I think Saddam's were fairly recent, like 1970s, 1980s, but the ones that go 9 meters down, you can see the difference in them. God, how many years have they been?
Do you know he
sat
actually
there?
had a plan, supposedly, to rebuild the pretend hanging gardens of Babylon and have like a cable car going over the top?
Could you imagine? Like, I don't know if it's real, if it's a story or what, but
I'm going with it, it's real.
All the pictures that you see and all the sort of like stories that you hear about it, it would have been insane.
This is the original flooring. Wow.
Yes.
This was the
Asphalt.
Possession Street.
Asphalt.
Yes. You look at there, asphalt.
So that's the original,
Yes, yes.
and then above will be Saddam.
Behind this bamboo.
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 Wow.
And then anything above was Saddam.
No, this Saddam, no.
Yeah.
Z always manages to pull some sort of strings. We now have like a representative for Babylon that's taken us around. I mean, we're pretty cool. We have been granted special access to the original Ishtar Gate, and you can see the carvings into the brickwork here that are still so
Apparently it was
intact.
the higher level that was blue.
So the highest part of it
is in Berlin,
is blue,
I think.
that's in Berlin, but you have these parts of the walls which do again still have, oh my god, wow,
The gods
you don't
and the
realise
unicorn.
it. From down here when you look up, the walls are massive with all of these big carvings in it. It is so cool.
So this is just the bottom part. You can just imagine how big the gates to Babylon would have been.
Mud bricks.
This bamboo. Yeah.
Oh,
And they use bamboo as
and
well.
mud bricks.
So they
Well,
put
if
bamboo
it's
in
the dog,
between the
yeah.
bricks.
Oh my god, there was an actual dog all them years ago. There's a dog footprint in the
This
brick.
law.
Definitely getting some special treatment right now. Look, we are right up next to the original wall with the original carvings. It's just, I don't know who he is, the representative in the suit. He could be anyone. He could be absolutely anyone, but he's opened the gate. You're meant to stand up above at a lookout zone. And he's brought us down here. Shukran. Thank you.
We have made it to the Lion of Babylon, the last of 120 to be here. and if supposedly it's about 1,000 and something years old, very, very old, and it's on top of a soldier. It is so remarkable that these things last so long.
Soldier,
I don't know, I feel like it's just holding on to it.
Attacked or protecting?
I don't think it's protecting.
So it was thought to be from one of the royal palaces, and it was actually found by villagers back in 1776. So this would have been unearthed underground, lost for around 700 years.
This here is the South Palace, which looks like a maze from above, and apparently had 600 rooms. And then behind me you will see Saddam's abandoned palace, which we will be going to later this afternoon, which looks over the city of Babylon.
You can see how Saddam was power hungry, building it overlooking the ancient city, the ancient palaces. And I don't even think we're meant to be up here. This guy, I don't know who he is, but he's taken us everywhere. Thank you again, my friend. Shukran.
Special access again. So this is part of the palace that Saddam built on top, and here is his stamp. He's done it in a few bricks, and it basically says Saddam was here.
You would get lost in here. This is... But where have you gone?
This way.
This way. This is... It's a complete maze.
Inside here.
And this is where Alexander the Great died. We've learnt so much about Alexander the Great.
Do you think he died on the
I didn't know. I'm not sure. They said he just sat down and died.
Fascinating place, but for me, even more fascinating is the palace that sits above Babylon, Saddam's abandoned palace. We're jumping in the car. I think it's only about a 5-minute drive, and I think for the palace it's 25,000 Iraqi, the same as to enter Babylon. Yalla!
Welcome to Saddam's palace.
Dancing with the boys. I can't dance with this leg.
Nice to meet you. Masalama, masalama.
Welcome to Saddam Hussein's abandoned palace, built in 1986, overlooking the ancient city of Babylon below. Everyone is just here, blaring music. Molly's dancing with everyone, and this is actually the front entrance behind, and you can see why he built it here, overlooking the ancient city, overlooking the famous river below. He thought he was above everyone, so building it here, he could look down on the average Iraqi.
The views from up here are insane. You can really see how green it was, and over there were the banks of the Euphrates River. We have a huge crowd that are very interested in two crazies. One that was dancing very well, actually.
Salam! Salam!
It seems like every school, university and college are off right now, so they've come also to Saddam's palace to enjoy the views over Babylon.
So this was the main entrance that Saddam built.
Apparently during his 24-year reign he built 80 to 100 palaces. We still have the group of kids following us.
We have a crowd.
We have a team of people.
You can actually see on the outside that he made sculptures with pictures on his face, a man that was completely obsessed. Wow, this is pretty surreal. Saddam actually spent billions on all of his palaces until this one obviously fell in 2003 when the Americans came to Iraq. A lot of it has actually been gutted, but you can still see some mosaics on the ceiling, some remains of some chandeliers and the marble flooring.
This is where Saddam used to sit when he would have meetings with people or with his family. They would be in a huge table here and he would be head of the table. But this has we've become a bit of a spectacle.
Everyone
here
is shouting, it's going a little bit crazy.
It's because they're all young and off school, they're very excited by seeing us here, but this is pretty insane. So as Matt said, everything was taken from here. There was a lot of gold and marble in here, but now all that remains is the flooring and that one picture.
You can see the mural has different things from all around Iraq. So you've got the gate there in Babylon, you've got the Baghdad Tower. It was known as the Saddam Tower in the past. As you exit the other side, you see the other view that Saddam would have had from his palace over the Euphrates River, lined with palm trees for miles on end. It's crazy to think that when this actually fell to the Americans in 2003, it was opened to the public as like a real middle finger to Saddam, and it would cost locals $1 to come here. They would come and they just looted the whole place.
If Saddam Hussein could see this now.
He'd be turning in his grave. That's so soon!
Yalla, 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 yalla.
They're crazy. You lot are crazy. They are crazy. And this is where Saddam and his family, his friends, high people used to come down. They would sit and they would have food. You can see all the walls now, Salam, are covered in graffiti. There was actually some graffiti left by the US, there was some in Polish, and now it's just a lot of local graffiti. Probably these lot, these little kids, causing trouble. This was the kitchen, and when we come through, and this would be the kitchen. I wonder what Saddam used to eat for dinner. One last look at probably the coolest abandoned building in all of the world. Masalama! The kids are so friendly, but they're just causing havoc. You used to be able to go upstairs, but because the kids have like ripped so much out of it, it's now really dangerous to go up there. There's actually another mural there with Saddam's face on. It's so cool. This place is so cool. Imagine staying a night in here.
Masalama! Masalama! Oh my god, get me out of here. Masalama!
What's your name? What's your name?
Bye!
We are back to normality. I think the kids had had a little bit too much sugar today. They were very nice, to be fair. They were just very intrigued why there are two Westerners walking around with a huge camera at an abandoned building that they probably view as just a playground. But that was Babylon. You have the ancient city behind me, and above the abandoned palace of Saddam Hussein. It would have been very difficult to have done this without Z and our friends from Al Rafadain, so we have to thank them again for making all this happen. But we are jumping in the car now and we are heading to the holy city of Karbala. So we'll see you in the next one on the way to Karbala, Iraq.